Oh, hi.
Hi. Hey, a couple things. This is super exciting. We're actually in a professional podcast studio today here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, moving on up.
Yeah, we're upping our game, Elizabeth.
Moving on up out of my house.
Yes, exactly. Well, actually, we screw up the sound so often in everything we do that this is pretty exciting that we're actually going to be able to not have to worry about that.
Yeah, we don't have to be the ones clicking the noise cancellation button.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what happened on our last two podcasts at my house because I think the microphones just turned off. And we just didn't know.
Yeah, I know.
It's too much technology for us.
It's so hard. It is so hard. But hey, you're going to be really excited when I tell you this next thing.
I don't think I will.
Yes, you're going to be.
Okay.
I've kicked caffeine.
I do know you were sick for a while.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy.
No.
But you know what I did?
You know what's crazy?
What?
You've done that so many times and you still go back.
So on the way here, I decided to stop and get myself a fully caffeinated cold brew so that I'd be buzzing like a cheap TV when we had our conversation today.
Oh, no. That was a really bad choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you said you were stopping at Texas Coffee Traders, I didn't question it, and I should have. I forgot.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's good. It's good for me.
So when he starts literally shaking.
Well, plus I feel like our topic today, it kind of lends itself to being able to speak really quick. I don't know.
It does lend ourselves to being able to speak, but coherently.
I mean, you can keep me in check, if things start going sideways.
Yeah, I will try my best, guys. I'm doing my best.
Okay, so we are going to talk about today public speaking.
Yeah.
And, it's an important topic for lots of reasons, and we can kind of get into it. But I think when it comes down to it, it's not, because I think most people think about public speaking. It's one of the greatest fears that everybody has, right? I mean, the sweaty palms, the losing your breath, the pooping yourself on stage, all the stuff.
I hate public speaking.
I know.
You hate public speaking.
I do hate
Why do we do this?
I don't even know.
It is so funny to me that we've chosen the path of being in front of the camera and talking to crowds at trade shows and giving presentations.
I think it comes down to public speaking. I mean, we could give techniques, right? And they're out there.
Well, we did listen to the last episode.
Yeah,
there are
and we
lots
had an
of
expert.
techniques. Yeah, but I think today we're going to focus more on why does this apply to me?
Or why does it happen, right?
Yeah.
Why do the different things happen?
Yeah,
actually, if you didn't catch that podcast, it was a 2-segment podcast with, let's see if we remember, Victoria
Liozniowski.
Probably close.
Yeah.
We'll put a link to that podcast in the notes here because she is incredible and gave a lot of really helpful tips. And a lot of folks have already watched the podcast, but if you missed it, I would recommend going back to it.
Yeah.
But before we dive deep into this conversation, Liz,
there's a lot.
Let's take a pause and thank our sponsors and friends for the support they give the Behind the Science community.
Absolutely.
Hey, Liz, before we get started on today's podcast, let's take a few minutes to thank our sponsors and friends.
As always.
All right. First, I want to thank this fine family of products that are so gracious to Behind the Signs, and that is SignTracker. Everything you need for managing your sign shop, project management, workflow, easy quoting, customer contracts, sync with QuickBooks. And if you are a traditional sign shop or print sign shop, it is the program for you. If you are in the UK, go to claritygo.com. It's sign project management for you fine friends in the UK. Also, if you are more of a traditional print or screen printing shop, check out printavo.com. And lastly, thanks to Order My Gear. Order My Gear, if you want to set up online stores for merch for yourself or your customers, they are the folks to go to, ordermygear.com.
And we want to thank a really special sponsor, Resupply Company.
We love those guys.
We really do. So, running a shop nowadays is really hard.
It is.
It's getting harder. And ordering materials for some reason is becoming really challenging, and getting, materials, equipment, and the support for those materials and equipment has become just a big challenge. So that's why we've relied on Resupply. I mean, you relied on Resupply forever.
They were a partner at our shop. And the more we grew, we used them as a resource, not just for getting materials, but also just for getting information, learning about new products. They were always in our shop every week. So if you're looking for a great partner in your business.
Yeah. I mean, they've been around now for 90 years. Supporting shops, and they've always put customers first.
I remember the beginning days.
Yeah. I mean, well...
I'm not
You
that
would. They do materials, equipment, but also they just have real industry expertise.
They do.
Literally every call and every shipment, every single thing you do, every interaction is handled with that same commitment to excellence, regardless of your size.
Exactly.
Because supporting sign and digital print and screen printing shops, it's not just a part of what they do. It is all they've done. They've never ventured out of that.
Yeah, and thank you, Resupply, for your sponsorship of Behind the Signs. We appreciate you.
So mostly. Yeah.
Next
the big thing is if you want someone that picks up the phone, right?
Yeah.
Because nowadays
that's hard to get.
Yeah. But if you want a person who actually picks up the phone and knows this industry, but also genuinely cares about your company's success, check out resupply.com.
Yes.
And that's why lots of people, including us and you, continue to trust them.
Exactly. Also want to thank our good friends at ISA, International Sign Association.
Membership
matters. And that's an important message that Liz and I have really committed ourselves to this year. So go to signs.org. And
you almost did
I almost did it. Yeah. Go to signs.org and check out not only becoming a member of ISA, but becoming a member of your local sign association. Mm-hmm. So whether it's Texas Sign Association, Mid-South Sign Association, Tri-State, California.
Don't list them all.
There's a lot. There's a ton. Yeah. But I will say, if you become a member of your local sign association, you're automatically a member of ISA. So we're huge proponents of that. And that's all I could say about that. Join your local sign association. Get involved.
Absolutely. And also, don't forget to check out our article every month in Sign Builder Illustrated, thanks to our friends at Sign Builders.
Yes.
Or Sign Builder Illustrated. Sign Builders is such a vernacular for me.
Good, say it. Yeah, that's because I started my career at Sign Builders of America.
Oh my gosh. Check it out online at signshop.com. It's as if I've never had an issue with it. I know. I'm so good.
I was wondering if you'd forget the URL.
But mostly, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
We wouldn't do this if you weren't watching.
That's true.
It's very true.
Yes, and we
be sure to subscribe.
Especially to the podcast YouTube channel. That's super helpful to us. So thanks a bunch.
And we'll have links to all these sponsors in the show notes. So be sure to check them out.
Yep. All right. Let's get started on the podcast for today.
Thank you.
So for me, public speaking, I've kind of accepted the fact that it's part of what I have to do as a small business owner, which I've been my whole life.
Yeah.
But my brain still kicks into fight or flight mode,
100%.
And my brain still says, nope, we don't want to do this.
That's exactly. It's the freeze, like someone comes in and says, tell us about your business. And it's I've never done this a day in my life. And that moment that question is asked, it's like my brain just gone, just shuts off. And it is literally just my brain going, bye, I'm flight. My choice is flight.
But you do so good at it, though. I mean, I've heard you speak now several times at ISA and TSA, and you just always do such a great job.
But it's kind of crazy that something as small as just talking to a client or being asked that question puts our brain in fight or flight as if we were in genuine danger.
Yeah. Well, it's the survival of humans, right? The amygdala kicks in and says, you're about to die.
Yeah. Right. Speaking in public, you are about to die.
Yeah, but you're not really.
Roasted.
Yeah. No, you're not really. I guess the important thing is to know that most small business owners feel this, right? So it's if you're a business owner or a manager or leader, team lead or whatever, department head, whatever it might be, you're not alone in feeling these things for sure. So
no. You've bombed presentations.
Oh,
I've bombed presentations.
I think for me, part and trying to understand why this happens, right?
Yeah.
And that comes down to the confidence issue, I think, as well. Because, I'm going to go way back here, because I don't have a business degree, for example. So when I went to college, I was an idealistic young person. I was going to change the world and, become a minister. And I ended up doing that for a while. So my bachelor's degree is in religious studies. And so when I actually kind of pivoted into small business, I remember the first time I was asked to publicly speak. Because I found in an early age that I had a knack for small business. So I had a janitorial contracting company, remember when you were a kid, before we moved to Texas, and had, a bunch of employees. And so the local, almost like the resupply, but of janitorial contracting, it's called Waxy Sanitary Supply. Waxy.
Yeah.
And, big organization. And they would have conferences just like Reese does. And then they asked me, because I was this young guy in my 20s, and all of a sudden I had this janitorial contracting company with like 100 employees, and we were rocking. And they wanted me to speak, like, how did you do it? And I remember really kind of bombing that talk.
Which is funny because your background was
speaking.
Ministry. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I spoke all the time, and I would speak at youth conferences, 2,000 people, 3,000 people, led big, missions trips to Mexico and, all that stuff. You remember all that. Mm-hmm. But I think it was because it was this idea in my mind, I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified to give this talk, even though it was ridiculous. Like I was running this successful company and it's still a kid doing it. And I had public speaking experience. I mean, heck, a big part of my degree was homiletics, right? Which is the art of public speaking. And,
that's a fun word, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
And, I aced all those classes and loved it. I loved to do it. And all of a sudden, this was my first time publicly speaking outside of that, outside of that setting. And I that's French.
You censored yourself.
I'm trying. Yeah. I'm trying to be more sensitive to that. But, I bombed,
Yeah.
And I got through it eventually and it was fine, but
just with giant pit stains.
Oh my God.
Heart going 120 beats per minute.
Oh yeah. They had to bring in the defibrillator.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you think? Why does that happen to people?
Well, I think that it's different. It's different when you're asked about something you are supposed to be a SME or a subject matter expert in, right? Because then it starts to really go against your imposter syndrome. And like you said, am I qualified for this? And you question your own qualifications. Even though someone sought you out based on your qualifications, you start to question them yourself. Like, do they think I'm more than what I am? And like as a woman in this industry who's of the younger generation,
compared to me,
right?
Who was, at Reese in 1936.
I'm telling you, at Texas Sign Association, intoxicated or not, a gentleman came up to, and he was a gentleman, came up to me and said, I look 27, so.
It's a baby face.
It is. I have bangs now. You can't see my wrinkles. Yeah, I think that, it's different versus just like, ministry would be talking to a crowd about someone else's word, technically, right?
Yeah.
And like their expertise and but then you're asked, like I said, tell us about your business. Like, I don't know anything about my business.
Yeah.
Like, what business? It's just that same like heart racing, sweaty palms. Like I said before, like I just sound like I'm going to cry.
It reminds me, after I sold my sign shop, I worked for another company for a couple of years, and we did big projects, and I was involved with a lot of the sales. And this was a big pitch we were doing, and we were going to an architect's office, and we thought we were just going to be sitting across the table from, one or two people, the primary person that we had been talking to. Mm-hmm. And so I went there with myself and the two owners, and it was a big presentation, and we were well prepared. Mm-hmm. The layouts were beautiful, the concepts were beautiful, all of it. And we get there, and I'm not kidding you, like there was us sitting across from like 5 architects and another few standing against the wall behind them. So, they had that view like you were looked down on. And it was still fine. Like we were ready to go. And one of the architects asked the owner, why should we work with your company?
Oof.
So you're off script anyway, right?
Yeah.
And the owner, he did fine eventually. He loosened up, but he froze, froze. He just couldn't, he was choked on his words. And I don't know. I ended up picking up a little bit, and then he loosened up and it was fine, but you could tell it was the idea of speaking in that setting with all those experts.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought about that later, and I think we all go through this, right? Where, and especially sometimes if you're a sign shop owner and you started and you were a technician first, so maybe you were an installer, or maybe you were, a fabricator or whatever, you decided, hey, I'm going to start my own shop, and you're in those settings and you look at someone that's like an architect or someone that owns a general contracting company, and somehow in your mind you think, I'm only a sign guy. I remember when we interviewed Lori Anderson, right? And she talked about whatever. And that's not true. And I think what happens is we look at them and think, oh, these are the real professionals.
And why?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, we have just as much knowledge just in it. They don't know what we know.
Right.
And I'm not saying that, blow your ego up. You know everything. You don't. But like, you should always continue to learn. But they're bringing you in as a subject matter expert because they need that.
Yeah, you would not be invited to the table.
Yeah.
If you and you should be confident in that.
Again, I think that speaks to imposter syndrome, which I know we're going to talk a little bit about. But a lot of this brings up that, or really answers that question, right? Because here we are, a sign industry podcast on our 3rd episode now, talking about public speaking. Why?
Yeah.
Why do small business owners, or just business owners, salespeople, managers, why do you even need to bother learning this skill? How does it apply to you in any way if you're never going to get up on stage and give a presentation? And a lot of you won't, and I don't blame you. It's awful. But how does this apply in other scenarios?
Well, I think more than anything, being able to communicate clearly is an important leadership
100%.
trait. I mean, your employees need you to be able to speak to them and communicate to them clearly. And I think I struggled with that too. God, I just struggled with anything came to public speaking. I'm always kind of more the cheerleader kind of guy, but like those hard conversations and
like to learn from the hard road. Usually,
I've learned a lot of things the hard way for sure. But no, I feel like you're right. It's not just let's throw out the big stage stuff. Yeah. So we're letting you off the hook. You never
have to give a TED talk.
You can make a commitment right now. If that's not you, and you know it's not you, I'm not saying you should limit yourself, because if an opportunity comes up and it makes sense for you and your business, do it. But if you don't want to, that's okay. Yeah. That's the least important part of being good at public speaking and having confidence.
Especially in this setting. Right. As a business owner.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, how have you been able to communicate? Like, how do you use your communication skills with managing your employees? Because I think you're really good at that.
So I'm also going to bring this way back to the days when I was living the dream, not in the sign industry. As you all know, I ran kicking and screaming, saying, no, I'm never doing that. And here I am. But I became a barber. And that is wild to me because my other degree is accounting.
I just want you to know I miss my straight edge shaves.
I know you do.
Man, they were so nice.
Everyone does. I hear about it all. Those. I still get old clients texting me saying, "Are you going back yet?" I'm like, dude, it's been 6 years. But I went to school for accounting, and while I was in school, I was a barber, and I was working my way through college, and a lot of my clients when I was a barber was like, "That's wild. I never would put you in accounting. It's such a quiet industry. Like, you don't talk to people, and you talk to people so well." So I think that being a barber really helped me in the one-on-one setting.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing about you being a barber?
I was good at it.
You were good at it. Not just that. But I remember, I never forget when Elizabeth was a little bit of our wild child. I'm just going to throw that out there.
It's shocking.
And did not want to go to college right away.
No.
Kicking and screaming, and decided to, leave at 18 years old and go out at it on our own. And went to barber college. And I remember your mom and I saying, hey, the only way we're going to help you pay for barber college is you have to go to ACC and take some business classes, because at some point you're going to want to own your own barbershop. And you were smart enough to agree to that.
Yeah.
And I never forget the day you came to me and you said, I had an epiphany. I found myself. And I'm like, okay. You said, I'm an accountant. And I was thinking, first of all, by then you had tattoos all over yourself. And I'm thinking, what effing bank are you going to work at? Of course, now these days, everyone's tatted up, but I just thought that was great, and obviously you went off to have a successful.
I will say the whole time I was in barber college and you made me take business classes, I just took math classes.
Yeah.
And yoga. I took yoga and math classes at ACC. By the way, take classes you don't need in college if you're young enough to still do that, or you want to go back. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun for sure. But anyway.
Yeah, I think having that skill set from being a barber, similar to you in ministry, it's like having that skill set of holding conversation one-on-one, I do pretty well. And so for my team, I do it pretty well for small group and my team. And one-on-one situations, I think I can just hold conversations well. So it doesn't bother me as much now because I've learned a lot of tricks and just become more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Like, my God, put me in a room even at a party and I'm the one in the corner like, oh, hell no.
Well, let's kind of talk about this. So one, you have for a sign shop owner, right? Like let's say you just even have 5 employees. You're going to have at least a weekly production meeting.
You're going to coach your employees.
Ooh. Good or bad, right? Like
good and bad.
Good and bad.
I mean, good and
not bad. That's a bad word. Bad's a bad word there. But people that need a little correction, a course correction.
Yeah. But also like think about just talking to a customer, being able to sound proficient in what you're doing, but also clear and concise so that the waters aren't muddy.
Right.
Right. Being able to explain a contract or like what your services are, what your deliverables are, being able to talk about that. These are all things it's just learning public speaking skills in order to be able to do that with confidence.
Yep.
Talking with, I think then you get to your bigger things, right? Where your team-wide meetings or presentations with architects and developers. We call them dog and pony shows, but the same rule applies. You're going to have to eventually get to the point where you feel confident enough to do that to be a successful business owner. Yep. Even if you don't do dog and pony shows, but you just do cold call sales, which I know we have an excellent podcast coming out about that later. But like that's a skill you have to practice and learn. And, also just being able to talk to your peers.
And trade shows are great for that.
Great.
Yeah.
Membership matters.
Well, you're communicating with vendors, you're communicating with your peers and asking, telling your story about your shop and all that. So also, and when it comes to sales, I think they think, well, how do I really get myself out there? Mm-hmm. And I know there's like,
oh my gosh, this could be an episode in itself.
Yeah, I know there's like Chamber of Commerce, and people say, well, I never had that much luck at Chamber of Commerce's, or I've never had that much luck in BNI network groups, or maybe sometimes churches have business networking groups, and there's all different ways to do that. But getting comfortable with being able to tell, because no one's going to tell the story of your sign shop with more enthusiasm and passion than you. Right. So you need to be comfortable. So we would challenge you, honestly, like get yourself, when it comes to micro public speaking, start with joining some of those types of organizations. And you don't have to be the person that stands up yet and tells about your company. Ultimately, that's important that you do stuff at things like that. But just, go up to somebody there and just start talking. Introduce yourself and tell them about your company, because no one's going to be able to do that as well as you. And
I think that this comes back full circle to that imposter syndrome thing we were talking about, right? Practicing with people that you're not trying to sell to or you're not trying to manage, that kind of helps break down that imposter syndrome, right? Like going to these events and talking to your peers, because you'll find that most of them have the same feeling. Like, I don't think there's a lot of people out there in the world. There are a few, but there aren't a lot that feel like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Like that feel comfortable, or not comfortable, but like, deserving of the role they are in.
Even, I would say even someone like Victoria that we interviewed, for example, she loves public speaking, absolutely loves it, coaches people in public speaking, yet still gets nervous, like has her routine of what she does to unwind before she speaks publicly. I took her course on public speaking, and so I do encourage people, if you if it's something that you really struggle with communicating wise, I know there's Toastmasters. I know Lori Anderson mentioned that.
Yeah.
She loves Toastmasters from ISA.
And my God, have you ever heard Lori give a speech?
Yeah, she's good.
It's like
she's just talking in the room.
Oh my goodness.
And that's what public speaking really is. It's good conversation.
Cool. She loves public speaking.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But I guarantee you, even she has the jitters.
Probably didn't always.
Yeah. And I guarantee you she has her routine of like,
oh, I'm sure. I'll oppose that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, when I took, so there's like Toastmasters or Victoria's classes are really good, or find somebody, even a local, like you said, community college, take a community college class, just learn some of the techniques to relax. But
so what's a technique
for me that I learned? So Victoria, there was a formula. She called it her speaking formula, right?
We can't give all her secrets away.
We won't give a special sauce away. But the one that I have told myself over and over again is, love your topic, love your audience, love yourself. And in my mind, what I do if I'm going to public speak is, first of all, do I love my topic? I love the sign industry. I love small business, and I that's number one. Love my topic. Number two, love your audience. I love the people that work in the sign industry.
You love everybody.
I do. I love personally, but I love the people that work in the sign industry because they're creative, they're craftspeople. Some are entrepreneurs, which is great, but a lot aren't. They're just brave enough to jump in with 2 feet and say, "I'm going to make this work."
Right.
So I'm passionate about their success, and I know you are too. And then love yourself, and
that's the hard one.
It's the hard one, but I think that's the confidence key.
Yeah.
And understanding that you would not be invited to the table, you would not be invited to a conference, you would not be part of a chamber group that wasn't interested in what you do, because people that go there are.
Yeah.
So just understand those 3 things and commit yourself to them. Mm-hmm. And then if you're a sign shop owner, hey, you love what you're talking about. You're a business, and your potential customers, the audience, your employees, the audience, and then yourself as the owner, the expert. So
you can even sub that out with believe in, right?
Yep.
Believe in your topic. I mean, you do. You believe that you can do the work that you say you're doing. Believe in your customer. You know, that's important. So work with the right people. Believe that they're going to be a good partner. But then also believe in yourself and believe that your experience is valuable.
Yeah.
And I think that's, even if you want to get past the believing you're qualified enough to speak, right? Because that one's harder. Believe in your experience. You have been doing this long enough to be a subject matter expert.
Yep.
And people wouldn't be looking to you if they didn't think that you had the experience to back up what you're saying. So
and you do.
You do. So take that pressure off and believe in your experience, believe in your knowledge. And I think that recognizing that your experience has value will help you kind of break down. It's not going to make it completely go away. Imposter syndrome haunts all of us, and it will until the day we die. I'm sorry. Maybe when we're in our 90s, we'll be like, fuck yeah.
Beep.
Yeah.
Potty mouth.
Sorry.
No, but it's true.
But it's true, but until then, I think imposter syndrome is something that we all just have to deal with, hopefully not on a daily basis, but typically a weekly basis. And I think just that's a really good piece of advice for people.
You think I'll still be doing the Behind the Science podcast with you when I'm 90?
I know that you'll still be working. You've told me as much.
I'll be like, Liz, hold on, we got to take a break. I need to change my diaper.
You need to change my diaper more like.
So what's a couple of action items here we can leave with everybody?
Well, I think you said one, right? Have an intentional conversation with someone. Yep. I personally think, ISA has a lot of roundtables this year that my husband's actually joined a few of them, and he has said they are so helpful. And I think the great thing about that is you're joining a small group of people that are at your level, right? So these are colleagues, these are peers. And being able to talk to them about what you do, because everyone does things differently, will help you start to have confidence in saying that stuff, right? Even if it's a script and you have to pretend like you're confident until you are, having that practice will help. So look on ISA's website, signs.org.
Ooh.
And and just see if there's a roundtable coming up, or look on your local association. A lot of local associations are doing virtual roundtables this year too. So check it out and see if you can join one of those in order to start talking to people at your same level and talking about yourself and your company and believing in your experience. And, I always look at those and say, because I have a small company and I am definitely guilty of the Lori Anderson, I am only a small company, and it's like, yeah, but I'm doing things that large companies don't do. It's just different.
Small but mighty.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you don't become good at public speaking by watching a video about public speaking.
No, you should watch this video.
This video will help you for sure, but you're not going to get better at public speaking by watching Joe and Liz talk about public speaking or reading a book about public speaking. You get better at public speaking by taking baby steps and doing it.
Absolutely.
Just get out there, shake hands, talk to your employees, have meaningful conversations with them, and start doing little things every week.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, 6 months into it, they won't be able to shut you up.
Absolutely. And, again, the goal isn't to become a TED Talk speaker. It's not to become a super polished speaker. We definitely aren't that. The goal is just to become someone that people trust, because you genuinely care about what you're talking about and you genuinely care about helping them. So, yeah.
Cool.
That's
well,
it.
Liz, thanks so much.
That's all I got.
This was fun in our new professional podcast.
Yes. Thanks.
Place here.
Podcast Studio Austin. Yep.
Shout out to you guys. All right. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.